We want to say to people from Moldova, don't risk your life or don't take the trip to Belgium because you won't receive shelter. And because illegal migration, it puts so much pressure on our society, on our social security system, for example, on our housing market. So if Moldova would become a member of the European Union, they would become a member of the group of countries working together to tackle this illegal migration.
First things first, can you tell me please about the goal of your visit to Moldova? Because recently you wrote quite a harsh Facebook post about migration to Belgium, and I wanted you to comment on that and what do you expect to achieve from this visit?
I'm here to talk with the Moldovan authorities because there is already good cooperation between Moldova and Belgium, and we are looking for how we can even have a better cooperation. Moldova is also into the process of becoming a member of the European Union, and we are one of the founding members of the European Union, so we are looking where we can help Moldova in this process. And of course we are also here to talk about the challenges that we see. And one of the challenges we see is that the latest year we see a big rise of the asylum applications from people from Moldova, especially from the Roma community, to ask asylum in Belgium. And there, the communication I want to do, it's not a harsh communication, but it's just an honest communication of saying that if you apply for asylum in Belgium, you have zero possibility of getting this international protection. Why? Because Moldova is a safe country of origin. The latest years, really zero people from Moldova got international protection in Belgium just because of the fact that Moldova is a safe country of origin. So we want to say to people from Moldova, don't risk your life or don't take the trip to Belgium because you won't receive shelter, you won't get any financial support to go back to Moldova, and you will be returned to Moldova. So it doesn't make any sense to apply for asylum in Belgium from Moldova.
But what kind of numbers are we talking here? Because you mentioned that the asylum applicants rose quite harshly during the last years.
Yeah, we are talking now about 1,000 people who are coming to Belgium, especially during the winter months. So before 2020, there was practically nobody from Moldova coming to Belgium to apply for asylum. And since 2020, we see this rise of applications. As I said, around 1,000 applications every year now, the latest years. But zero of these people got international protection in Belgium. So that's why we also say, don't come to Belgium, don't make abuse of our shelter system or asylum system, because you won't get international protection, you won't get any financial support, and you will be returned to Moldova.
But do you see any explanation of why it is happening, especially after the 2020?
Yeah, I think it's because of first there was COVID, afterwards there was the invasion of Russia in Ukraine, and there are regions in Moldova where the socio-economic perspectives are not so good. So, but that's not a reason to ask for asylum in another country. So I think it's much more important that we see how we can help Moldova I have this afternoon, for example, also a talk with the Minister for Economy to see how we can help Moldova, how we can cooperate better. But there isn't any reason to come to Belgium to apply for asylum, because you won't get any international protection, you won't get any financial support, and you will be returned.
But aren't you afraid that these kind of topics will create even more social stigma towards especially Roma community? Because in Moldova we have this problem, and the Council of Europe worked here for a lot of years dealing with this exactly.
Well, that's why I say that we have to see how we can get more cooperation between our countries. That's why also we want to help Moldova in its accession towards the European Union. We also offered, for example, already the support from our migration office to the Moldovan migration office, how we can exchange best practices. So really to help and to have a better cooperation, even better cooperation between our countries. But coming to Belgium to apply for asylum, that's not a solution, because you won't get it. By the way, we also in Belgium, as I said, we will stop giving financial support, because we also have to do big savings in Belgium, so we don't have the financial possibilities anymore. That's also why we will stop it, and it's just an honest message to people, because we know that people in Moldova are making abuse of spreading the news to people. If you go to Belgium, you will receive financial support and everything. So it's just an honest message to people that if you will go to Belgium, you won't get any financial support and you will be returned to Moldova. Moreover, our asylum system is really like completely saturated in Belgium, so people have the chance of ending up on the street. So I don't think that we have to say to people, yeah, you can come to Belgium and then they end on the street. It's not a situation where we want people to end up in. So that's why we want to give this clear message. If you come to Belgium, don't do it, or if you want to do it, because you won't get any shelter, you won't get any financial support, and you will be returned to Moldova.
Speaking about Moldovan aspirations of becoming a EU member state, there are a lot of speculations in Moldova, Moldovan media, social media, that somehow Moldova will be a #1 destination for migrants, which Europe doesn't want to have. How can you comment on that? Because especially before every elections, we have these myths about, migrants from Syria and so on.
Well, the migration crisis, as we know it in Europe, makes that every European country, every member of the European Union, we are really working of how we can tackle illegal migration together. That's also why we have now the European Asylum and Migration Pact that will become into force in 2026, to work better together with or between the members of the European Union to tackle this illegal migration challenge that we face. So if Moldova would become a member of the European Union, they would become a member of the group of countries working together to tackle this illegal migration. So I think it would put Moldova even in a stronger position to be able to work together.
And a question about Ukraine, because for now we have this kind of negotiation process between Russia, Ukraine, USA, and so on. If this process will come through, what will happen with Ukrainian refugees in your country and in EU in general?
Well, first of all, we are a big supporter of Ukraine. I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks ago now that our Prime Minister brought a visit to Ukraine and to show our support to Ukraine in its fight against Russia. So we will continue to support Ukraine in that. And then when it concerns Ukrainian refugees, there we have to see at European level how we will continue with because they have some kind of special protection status now. And for now it's until March 26, so we will have to see after this date, will it be prolonged for 1 year, or how we will handle this challenge that we see there to help these Ukrainian people.
How you hope in the future to tackle this issue of kind of double standards towards different migrants from different countries? Because this talk started especially since the beginning, the big war in Ukraine, because there are one kind of refugees, there is another kind of refugees, Syrians, Ukrainians, they are all somehow different for authorities. How do you see it maybe be changed in the future?
Well, it's just at European level you have different status for refugees, and it's completely within the international framework. You have the Convention of Geneva for people who are fleeing their country for personal persecution, for example. Then you have the subsidiarity protection at European level. That's for people who are fleeing for war. And then you have this status of temporary displaced persons. So it's completely a European framework, an international framework that we have. So I wouldn't talk about double standards, because it are really like statuses where a specific protection is held, specifically linked with the reason why they flee from their country. So I wouldn't talk about double standards.
We see that in a lot of European countries, more conservative parties come to power, including yours, which mostly are somehow more skeptical or more strict, let's say so, on migration topic. How do you think it will change the whole social landscape of Europe in the nearest future?
Well, maybe first, when it concerns our government, I wouldn't put us on the same line as some, I don't know, extreme right, because that's not the case at all in our country. What we do see at European level is that there is more and more awareness rising in Europe of the fact that we have to tackle the migration challenge that we have in another way. So we have now a group of like-minded countries within the European Union, from which Belgium is one of them. From people, we have Denmark in that group, the Netherlands, Austria, for example. So a lot of countries. I think we are now more than 15 out of the 27 members of the European Union who are saying we have to work even better together to tackle this illegal migration, because illegal migration, it puts so much pressure on our society, on our social security system, for example, on our housing market, on our education, and so on and so forth. And that's why we see that extreme parties are becoming more and more popular among the people, and we have to tackle that. We have to tackle the problem of illegal migration to make the migration story a positive story and not a negative one, because for the moment it's really like a negative one. People only see it as a burden. So we have to be able to say to people, we have taken back control of our migration flows, and so it means that we use migration for a positive contribution to our society, and not any longer to be it a burden for our society.
What changes do you expect the most from this pact, which will be introduced in a year that you mentioned, Migration Pact?
From the European Asylum and Migration Pact? Well, that we work better together between the members of the European Union, so that we can take back control over the migration flows, and that everybody takes up its responsibilities. And it's only by every member of the European country taking up its responsibilities within the pact that we will manage to take back control again over our migration flows.